I am Bernard Chigwari from True Legal Media. Can you introduce yourself to our readers?
My name is Winde. I am the current Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Tourism in the Western Cape Government.
Thank you so much. Why did you choose to join the political career?
Well, I think it started almost by mistake. I was in business. I had 10 companies. I'm actually an entrepreneur. So I started 10 small businesses. I come from a town called Knysna. And I didn't have all businesses at the same time, and I was involved in these small companies. And then I was approached in the 96 elections for the local municipality, or the rural municipality at that stage. And I eventually ended up becoming an independent councillor in the South Cape District Council. And then that led from one to the other. The next thing in 99 I was elected for the Democratic Party, and here I am now entering into my fourth term in the legislature, being sworn in today.
Thank you so much. You have been sworn in. What are your promises to the residents of Cape Town?
Well, I think in this election that we've just come through, the manifesto was put forward, but from my own portfolio and the DA, we really went out and said it's about the economy and about jobs. And that has been my portfolio up until now. And we'll see at 1 o'clock today, or it'll be a bit later now because we're still busy in the House, but the Premier will announce the new cabinet this afternoon as well. And hopefully I've still got a role to play in the economy. It's about creating jobs. Our unemployment rate is too high. We've got everything in our province and in our country to have a better growth rate, to have more people employed, and that's really what I'm looking at now.
Thank you so much. Our town has been noted by this poor protest. How are you planning to improve service delivery?
Well, I think that's, every government's got to ask themselves those kind of questions. We always, when we go out to the electorate, we always tell people about what the coverage rate is, so we talk about, we've got 93% service delivery in water, or 97% in electricity, and so we always talk about the amount of services that we deliver. But in actual fact, post an election, when you get put into power, you need to think about that gap that's left. So if there is 4% of our population that need sewerage services, or 8%, or whatever that number is, that actually try focus over the next term, that we actually start to narrow those numbers down. So whether it's in, you spoke about the protesters, whether they're looking for ordinary services that any customer, any voter, any citizen of this province is looking for, that's our job. That's what we've got to do. Is we've got to make sure we fill that gap.
Thank you so much. Now, during election campaigns, in some quarters, the DA party was labeled as a racist party. What's your comment on that?
Well, sometimes I think in a campaign like this, when there's no answer for a specific question, I think, and it's quite sad because of our history, but political parties move to racist comments. I think we need to be judged on our service delivery. We need to be judged on our track record. And for me, it was very exciting going into this campaign. 5 years, I was in a campaign where we weren't in government, we were in opposition, and we were saying, if you put us into government, this is what we would like to do with our manifesto. This election campaign in this province, we could go back to the voters saying, don't worry about the manifesto, here's my track record. This is what I've done with your vote in the last 5 years. And so the racist comments are one thing, but in actual fact, it's the track record that counts. And I think the voters have recognized that track record, and so we're just short of 60% back in the legislature.
Thank you so much. What are some of the challenges you face in your career?
Are you talking about before politics or after politics?
This political profession. What are your challenges?
I think, the thing that keeps me awake in my portfolio for the last 5 years has been our unemployment rate. So we've got 543,000 people in the Western Cape. That's what keeps me awake.
Thank you. In your view, is everyone in South Africa enjoying fruits of freedom?
I think we've still got some work to do. There are too many people who wake up in the morning and they don't have hope for our country because of the situation they find themselves in. So that's what we have to make the difference to. And I believe that there's the main lever is to make sure we grow our economy and create more jobs, because the best way out of poverty is a job.
Thank you so much. Your last word of advice to the young blood who are at crossroads of choosing their career path.
I would like to say that young people who are still at school, we have too many young people who still drop out of school these days. We need to remember that that is the foundation of the rest of your life. Stay in school, get as best marks as you can, because that's your first stage. Then once that's happened, assess the economic environment and make a wise choice of where you want to go into. If I have to tell people at the moment where the gap is, artisans in our economy, we are way too short. The average age of an artisan in the Western Cape is 55 years old. That means in 10 years time, when the average age of an artisan is 65, anybody who's an artisan that's good with their hands is going to be able to name their price. I think there's opportunity there. We've got oil and gas happening off our coastline. We've got the IDZ in Saldanha Bay. We've got the green economy on the come. That needs artisans, it needs engineers, it needs people who've got that kind of know-how, that technical, able to do things physically. That would be my advice. If you're any good with your hands, obviously we still need doctors and lawyers, and we need across the board. But artisans is a big shortfall in our economy at the moment.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Great.
Only a pleasure.
Thank you.